Traveler sat looking toward the Broncos coming up. They were quieter than Traveler thought they would be. They seemed calmed somehow. Perhaps they had worn each other out. Traveler waited patiently, quietly for Abira, Colt, and Abel. Colt looked to the group. Where are the 5? Each came forward silently, all except Rano. He looked to Colt, then to Traveler. So what are the terms of this fight? Clearly you don't expect this to be hand-to-hand, or paw, in his case. The other 4 looked to Colt as he stood firm. I thought of this. I figured you all would have thought of this. Did you not come prepared with your weapons? A good Bronco always carries on him something at all times. We were all taught this. Especially for those taking on the challenge of being a stallion. The 4 looked to each other. They thought of oiling up, but never the thought crossed their minds to bring weapons to a play spar, all except Rono, who looked to Colt. I have what I need. He looked to the other 4. Y'all best stay out of the way, since you all didn't have common. Since to bring weapons I stowed a few away. His hands slightly swollen and red, going about him, as he sighed angrily, pulling from his boot a knife, his belt, an expanding pole. From his other side he kept a rope. From his jacket he pulled some metal knuckles, something clearly bought from the dark markets of the city. He looked to Timothy, one of the largest of the entire herd. Sorry there, Timothy. Guess you will just have to sit on him. Timothy was used to Rono's teasings, being one of the youngest as well as the largest. But Colt was not one to normally take in sighing slightly. Colt took from his boot his knife, handing it to Timothy. Timothy seemed shocked at the gesture. Colt put his hand on his shoulder. Keep it well till the end of the fight. Timothy nodded, still surprised. Why would Colt help him, one of the ones challenging him? Colt stood back, looking to Rano. What will you be using? Then Rano, straight as a board, never a move out of place, pulled out another dark market weapon, a taser. Without reply. To what it was he showed the blue spark. Unless there's objections? And my other tools that will be on the battlefield. Traveler had seen these before and dealt with them. They had no effect on him. Traveler shrugged. Colt looked to him. I see no problem with it, if Traveler here is fine with it. He didn't seem at all surprised of what Rano possessed. Shall we battle here, then? Traveler spoke up. It as good as any. Then how will we know when I take down this pussycat that he is out? Abira spoke up. Watch your words, he's a lion. Rano crossed his arms. Maybe to you. Abel spoke up. Perhaps. A word, then. Let us say something that is not normally said. Perhaps. Abel thought a moment. I have it. Pineapple. Everyone looked to him in this one moment. Somehow he had lost a percentage of respect. But Abel fought back. It won't be said by mistake by anyone. If the word is said by anyone, they are tapping out. As odd as it was, they all agreed to the terms. Traveler just sat as the men steadied themselves, surrounding him from a distance, waiting for the word to fight. Traveler spoke for a moment. Before we begin, I assume you are Rano, if my memory serves me. He looked to Rano, staring him down. That's right. What's it to you, pussycat? Traveler grinned. Just wanted to be sure of it is all. Colt nodded, and the Broncos started at their opponent. Traveler sighed, rather bored with it all already. He looked to the closest. He was a rather dashing one, rather thin dark hair with a mustache not fully grown in. He wore a periwinkle-color leather coat, longer than most. He had been given the knife. Traveler eyed him as he stopped frozen. Your first 5 little Broncos jumping on the bed. With a roar that shook the ground, he jumped at him, landing him flat on his back. The man squirmed as the others watched. Come on, get him. The man pleaded. Traveler just sighed. Really? One fell down and broke his head. He smiled as the others came running toward him, or at least the other. 3 Rano held a distance away from them. But Traveler was having fun with it all. He let the man with the staff jump his back, hitting him with the pole that simply broke with 2 hits. After all, he was hitting pure metal. You could hear the dings with each hit. Traveler opened his mouth, roaring in the pinned man's face. His fake thick saliva hit the man's cheek. Pineapple! By now, Timothy had grabbed at his neck with his arms still holding to the knife. Traveler reared, knocking the man off his back, as well as knocking Timothy a distance. Slightly rolling, somehow not being stabbed by the knife, he held the man that had been on his back. Hoof let go of the broken staff, throwing it a distance, shaking off the fall, crouching. Slightly holding his hands out, Traveler paused his steps toward him. "Now aren't you cute?" The fourth little bronco didn't know what to do. Hoof gritted, yelling as he ran to him. But Traveler turned, swishing his tail. That might as well have been a metal whip, not even with full force. It threw Hoof backward, landing on the earth as Traveler turned. Fully running at him, grabbing him up in his large fanged mouth, talking with his mouth full, fourth little bronco's about to be chewed. Hoof was swaying like a mouse in a cat's mouth but couldn't do much of anything. Finally, he stopped moving as Traveler started to bite down. Ah, pineapple! Traveler spit him out. "Thank goodness for that, you taste terrible." He grinned, knowing it a lie. Then he looked to poor Timothy. Normally, he was rather a strong fighter, but this lion didn't seem to be playing the third little... "Well, are you married?" Traveler stopped to ask Timothy, his voice trembling, seeing what had been done to the others. "Know why?" Traveler chuckled that Timothy actually had replied as he continued. "Bronco holding such a big knife is about to have no need for a wife." With that, Traveler ran at him, lifting his tail to a certain position. As Timothy, still holding the knife in front of him, saw this, still holding to the knife, he dropped his arms to a lower level. "Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple," he said over and over. Traveler soothed. His tail down, as Timothy let out a breath, sweat covering his face, leaning over in relief, taking in a breath, then releasing it, then sitting on the ground. Traveler saw the other two, the one clearly using Rano as a shield. I wouldn't have blamed him. Knuckles wouldn't help him much in this fight. The fourth little bronco hides behind a shield. Let's see what. Rhymes with shield. Can't be healed. No. No blood be spilled. No doesn't rhyme. Timothy spoke up. Keeled all looked to him. Sorry, he spoke, forgetting the meaning of it all, as Traveler continued. Oh, I know, peeled. Yes, that works. Flesh be peeled. With that, the man went running. As Traveler watched, running from the field works too. He chuckled, but then he thought, oh dear, he forgot something. He looked to the other broncos, rather embarrassed of their companion, then to Rano. Shall you follow then? I'd like to take you on more seriously. Rano nodded, calling for his horse, as Traveler raced after Creston, almost in a trot, but he had to give it to this man. He could run. Rather fast he had made it to the cliff side before stopping for a breath. Traveler stopped silently behind him. Excuse me for saying so, but you forgot something. Creston was out of breath. What, he gasped. You forgot to say, oops, you almost made me say it. Traveler chuckled as he roared out. Creston screamed out, pineapple! Traveler smiled. As he slid by him, I'm glad you found your second wind. Traveler snapped at him, making him move slightly quicker. Traveler cracked his neck. Now where is that? Just then, from his horse jumped Rano, trying to land on Traveler, his taser blazing with blue light in the night, but Traveler easily dodged. Ah, no, see, that won't do. I have a promise to keep. No one else was about just yet. You mean to that twisted filly you can't be serious? Traveler growled deep in his lungs. What did you call my lady? Rano glared back, pulling out the rope tie, the taser to it, in the on position. Oh, you heard me just fine, pussycat. Now I'm bound to ride you, Traveler snarled. His voice deeper than ever, enraged as he spat, the fifth little bronco, cocky as can be, will not lay a finger on me. With that, he dodged the taser and rope Rano had tossed at him, gathering in his mouth, pulling Rano toward him, but Rano coolly let go of the rope, picking from his pocket a knife. I won't tell if you won't, kitty. Traveler saw how this one held a knife. He knew how to use it. His hands redder, now more swollen. Traveler ran at him, dodging a few very well-placed attacks. By now the others were on them, watching. Abira was puzzled. He knew Traveler had many moves to outdo this one, but why was he holding the defense? Get him. Why won't you get him? Abira whispered to himself just then. As Abira looked on, Traveler lost his footing on a wet moss of a rock. Dodge. Attach. How did this happen as he landed with a large thud to his side? Rano came running up. Say it. He yelled as he jumped in the air higher that most could jump, knife ready to plow into its target. He was not just sparring now. Traveler lifted his head, turning slightly, adjusting himself, and with a push, he met Rano air jump, hitting him first with his giant paws, knocking him off the side of the cliff, past the edge to the water down below near the waterfall. Traveler jumped up quickly, going to the edge, as did the others, looking to the pounding of water. Nothing could be seen. Colt was running toward the edge as Traveler turned his head, knocking him to the ground. This height was not safe with the level of water. Traveler saw this, as he knew Colt would try again before more could be said. Traveler threw himself into the air to reach where he thought Rano would have. Landed, he could hear his king yelling out, but all now was silent to him as he went crashing down, hitting the water, his metal body finding the body quickly. He looked around. The water was bubbling from the fall. It was murky, but his eyes could find the shape of Rano even now, but his eyes were glitching. He had to hurry. He found Rano stuck in the falls in the plunge pool that was making a strong undertow. No normal man could come from this. He was still as the dead. Traveler walked the bottom of the pebbled floor to him, grabbing him up in his mouth by the collar of his jacket, his vision almost gone with static, but he knew the area. Well, he made his way out of the deep water to chest high, then leg, then paws, reaching the shore.